As we were dealing with the dense connective tissue, we had dealt with the bone and cartilage. Now what we are going to see is we are going to understand what a bone is all about and what a cartilage is all about by understanding their transverse section. So our next topic happens to be transverse section of a bone, and diagrammatically we are going to see what a bone is all about and what if we cut the bone and observe its transverse section. First of all, you have to see that this is actually a bone. You see there is diaphysis, that is the central part of the bone. At end of diaphysis, at the both sides, there is epiphyseal plate. Okay, epiphyseal plate is nothing but hyaline cartilage that is present at the end of the bones, and there is an epiphyseal line, as you can see in this marking. Over that we have the spongy bone, and there is an articular cartilage that surrounds the end of the bone. There is a distal epiphysis and proximal epiphysis which is separated from diaphysis by an epiphyseal line. Now inside the bone, what is present? You know that the long bones, they have bone marrow inside them, and that bone marrow is present inside the medullary cavity of the bone. Around this medullary cavity, there is the compact bone. Medullary cavity houses the yellow or the red bone marrow, which is responsible for production of blood in our body, and around it is the compact bone. Now in that compact bone is the arrangement of that connective tissue that we talk about. We talk about that there are osteocytes which are present, the cells which are responsible for production of bone or the formation of bone. Those are the osteocytes, they are present in the compact bone. So we are going to observe this compact bone, and that would become the TS of the bone, and it would be such that whatever is surrounding the medullary cavity, that would be the compact bone forming the TS. Now this is compact bone, there is a periosteum that lines the compact bone, there is spongy bone at end, and you would come across the term epiphysis or epiphyseal plate, so you can very well relate that it is part of the bone. Let us talk about the transverse section, which is part of our syllabus. This is the medullary cavity. As we can see, we just saw it, that there is a medullary cavity, and inside the medullary cavity there is bone marrow. So the medullary cavity is the extension of medullary cavity which separates it from the compact bone, is known as endosteum. As we had periosteum, which was the separation of the bone, that means outline of the bone is known as periosteum, and one which is the outline of the medullary cavity is endosteum. So this is, supposedly we are having a circle like this. This was the bone, I cut it like this, then I observe it in transverse section. This was the bone, this is periosteum, this is endosteum, this would be the medullary cavity. Inside it you are going to find the bone marrow. So we are dealing with this much part, and this much part is magnified and shown over here. So what we have over here is, we have many Haversian canals which are present. Now you see, bone itself is a connective tissue, and it is going to have nerve supply and the blood supply. Alright, the entire bone has to be supplied with nerves and the bloods. That is why supposedly if a bone gets broken, there is lot of pain because the nerves over there are getting broken. Had it not been given a nervous supply, how can you relate with the pain of the bone? So there is a Haversian canal inside which there is present the nerves, and Haversian canal is surrounded by Haversian lamellae which have concentric tube like structures. So when we see that what a Haversian canal is, it is a central hollow structure which is surrounded by central tube like structures, many microtubes you can say, and they are known as Haversian lamellae, and this both Haversian canal and Haversian lamellae are known as Haversian system. To put it in simplest terms, supposedly this is the Haversian canal, around it you are having another lamellae, then again around it another lamellae, and this forms the compact bones. Now these cells, they are osteocytes arranged in concentric manner, and this Haversian canal, each Haversian canal is connected to the other by a term known as canaliculi. This you have to remember. Okay, so we have Haversian system, we have periosteum. This periosteum would be continuous, it would be a full circular stage. Osteocytes are the cells which are responsible for secreting ossin, that is a protein which is responsible for making the bone very hard. Then we have interstitial lamellae, which are the spaces which are present between the osteocytes. We have Haversian system that has the Haversian canal and the Haversian lamellae. So this is about the TS of bone. Now in this diagram, the previous one, you saw that over here we have a cartilage. Okay, we are going to see that the epiphyseal line also have a cartilage. And what is a cartilage? How is a cartilage different from the bone? That would be clear from the transverse section. Now over there we had periosteum, here we have perichondrium, because I told you in the beginning as well that we have the word osteo for bones and chondro for cartilage. So the perichondrium is present, that is the separation. We have white fibers, the blood cells are scattered and present in the outer layer. We have chondroblasts in lacunae. Now what are lacunae? You see there are capsules, small spaces inside which there are cells which secrete chondrin and which is responsible for that pliable material that cartilage is. Touch your nose, you are able to press it. Touch your ear, you can easily press it, that is cartilage. So that cartilage is due to these chondroblasts and lacunae which secrete the chondrin. Okay, there is a matrix. Matrix is rich in chondrin again. As you know that the connective tissue would be form of matrix and there would be cellular components. So we have a matrix, we have chondroblasts present inside the lacunae, and there is a blood supply along with the white fibers. And I need not to tell you that white fibers, wherever they are present, we are talking about collagen fibers, not the elastin ones, because elastin are yellow fibers. So this is the hyaline cartilage, and in transverse section when we see the lacunae known as capsules, inside which we have chondrocytes and or we can say chondroblasts, and these chondroblasts, they secrete chondrin, and that pliable cartilage is formed, that is present in your nose, in ears. And apart from that, that is the simplest example, it is present at the end of every bone for the articulation in the joints. So this is all about bone and cartilage with their transverse sections.